And hey again, y'all. Sean from KappisCards back with you tonight with a full wax box opening. I haven't done one of these in a long time. This is 1991 Topps Football. And I bought this off The Past is Alive, which is another YouTube channel here. I got it off as one of his whatnot things, though I did meet him last week and bought a bunch of baseball cards and football cards and other stuff off him, just sort of a bulk deal. But got these in a different transaction, so figured we could check these out and open them. This was one of the sets. I was 11 years old when this came out, so I put this together as an 11-year-old, as well as a couple of the other sets that year. I did Upper Deck and I did Score, I believe, from 91. And, this is also when the pandemic started. This was the first set I put together again, just because I was able to find the wax boxes, I believe, at that time for $5 each off of eBay, believe it or not, right when, the shit was hitting the fan with the COVID-19 and all. So made out pretty good there, put it together, and then, of course, took it apart when the shop took off. So figured I'd open these. Every card out of here is going to wind up somewhere in one of my packs, one of my football card packs. I just, believe it or not, I just filmed, actually, the other video that is up on the page right now with the blaster box opening of Score and Big League. In the time between me videotaping it, uploading it to YouTube, and posting it, another team sold out of football. So, got to get these football cards back in stock for you here soon, and I will here next week. I've got a couple other sets that I'm breaking. I was able to snag while I was traveling recently here, and I'm going to open them up, some of the old sets I put together. In fact, I think 91 Score and 91 Upper Deck are over there, as well as 92 Topps I haven't pulled out. So they are going to wind up in the packs. And that's how my packs usually work, right? You get a mix of cards from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s, up through today, right? So it's a random mix of a whole bunch of different cards, 30 cards in each pack, and you can find your favorite teams here. But like I said, in the Etsy shop, the link's also in the description of the video. But the best thing you can do right now is give us a like and subscribe, because I will always post product updates, videos of when I do the different teams. And like I said, I'm sold out of 20 or 21 NFL teams now. So until I can get them back in stock, the best way to find out if they're in stock is to like and subscribe. So here we go, right? Of course, with the rip here, the one thing about 91 Topps, right? 91 Topps football, the only, and it's, I hesitate to say this because of, the way rookie cards have changed, but the only rookie card in the set that's really of notoriety is Emmitt Smith. Now, Emmitt Smith was in the 1990 Topps traded set, right? But this is his first base card set, card. So we'll be looking for that, as well as, some other stars. Of course, is the big thing. The box says Barry Sanders and John Elway, but all the big stars at the time: Montana, Aikman, Irvin, Dan Marino, all the others, right? Plus, we got the 1,000-yard club set, and I kind of wonder how close we can get to putting that together. I don't know how many cards are in that, so we'll have to look for that. And we open, whoops, and a little stuck together, but that's all right. Barry Word, the first one there in the 1,000-yard club set. So if you're not familiar with these, I know Topps started as they came, around later on, but this was always something that was included in either these packs or in the grocery rack packs, which is how I always like to get them too, because you got a little bit more cards. You could always see what the 1,000-yard club card was too. Up until about this time, I think they started taking that away, but still, right? Barry Word being the first there for that. The other thing about these Topps sets back in the day, right? And of course, let me bring these up to the camera more. It's a nice, simplistic kind of design, right? With the sort of fancy, writing of the team name at the bottom with the player. And some of them are candid shots, some of them are action shots. But the other thing about Topps sets, if you remember back then, they were always in order of, who won the Super Bowl, who lost the Super Bowl, the AFC, NFC championship teams on down. So the Giants should be the team that's the first one in the set. Yeah. So you can see it's number 25, right? Because 91 would be 1990's Super Bowl, which would be Super Bowl 25, right? The Desert Storm Super Bowl. This is also the first year, if I remember correctly, that these are not mixed in with the team as you went along team by team, right? Because these were always the first card for each team, the team cards. And you can see here, yeah, so it's 651 here for the Chargers. It's all the way in the back. So, aside from the Warren Moon, no real big stars in that first pack, but it's just fun. This is a fun, nostalgic rip, and these are, I believe as well, right? Topps went away from the actual wax paper and into the, this plastic at this time. So always enjoyable to go back and have a little nostalgia and do this. And, you know, the other good thing about these is they should be mostly in great shape, right? Since they're going to be packed fresh, although you never know, right? As we go through this. So Drew Hill here coming out of the run and shoot offense, right? Still barely over 1,000 yards. You know, but part of the set, what's his number in the set? He's 15. Barry Word was 16. So I don't know how many cards are in that set if we're going to get them all. Andre Reed. The Bears team card. Marinovich. The Robo QB, right, or whatever he was called. Except, you know, his dad wore him out so much when he was getting ready to be a sports player. I was sort of that way too. My dad's been dead for 7 or 8 years, so I hate talking shit about him. But, and look what I've got here on the back as I say that. There's the Emmitt Smith rookie. Sorry. But still, right, you know, my dad was always very about the sports I played, right, especially golf. That was my big sport as a kid. Because when I hit puberty, I could not hit a baseball anymore. Gary Clark there. And then, you know, golf became my thing, and I was all right at it, but I was never great because of that probably, where it was just so much pressure, right? You're spending time, you're spending my money, right? You know, that kind of crap. But 2 checklists, but I did get the Emmitt Smith card. So I believe this in a PSA 10, whatever, you're going to get a decent price for it, you know, maybe pushing $100 at the most, something like that. I didn't look on eBay. But still, this is like the big card of the set. And we got it 3 packs in. So this will be mixed in with the, because I already have a few of these, right, in my PC. And if you're not familiar with the channel, I do PC, Cowboys, and Mets. So I will pull a few out. But this one, I've got a few of them already. So that one will wind up, I'm going to set it over here since it's sort of the special card. That will wind up in the packs when I go through and remake the Cowboys packs. And I did not mean to pull it off camera, so don't yell at me for doing that, please. Besides, I'm not breaking it for you, other than I'm mixing these cards in the packs anyways, so not like I'm trying to steal 91 Topps cards. Anthony Carter is our 1,000-yard club guy this time. So he's number 17 in the set. Another guy barely over 1,000 yards, 1,006 or 8, and it's kind of smushed together there. But yeah, Eric Howard, Freilich. Again, starting lineup fans. Anybody's got starting lineups like me, I've got 1,000 of them. His is the big starting lineup. Right? He's a, you know, he was an all-pro, right? But he was a short print, you know, Sterling Sharp, right? So that makes him the big sort of chase starting lineup. You can get probably close to $1,000 for his now. There's a few other ones that push that, but the 89 Bill Freilich starting lineup, right, is the starting lineup. Doesn't, you know, seems so random. At least some of the other big chase ones, right, are like Tony Dorsett and stuff that was only available in the 88. I want to say Sears catalog. It might have been JCPenney's. You know, one of those. And then there's like Mark Wilson out of that. But yeah, so here's Barry Sanders, 1,000-yard club. You know, Barry cleared 1,000 easily, right? Barry is number 2 in the set. So 1,300 yards for Barry there. Still only 4 games where he cleared 100. So, Jim Lachey. Ricky Jackson. Andre Tippett. So, a couple stars there. As always, my packs have a few stars in them, and then other common, other players, right? That sort of thing. If you look at the different team descriptions, if you look at your favorite team, you'll see what I call a star, right? And the Hall of Famers explain themselves, but Ernest Biner, number 6 in the set. So, Boomer. Eric Green. You know, you look at these names, right? If you're my age, you know, I'm 43. If you're around my age, somewhere in there, you probably had Nintendo or Sega or one of them's growing up. But if you had Nintendo like I did, I'm willing to bet you had Tecmo Super Bowl if you're watching this video, right? And I know there are still people out there that play it, right? There's like, you know, tournaments and stuff for it. But that was my game. That was my jam back in the day. And just looking at these, you remember the players, you know, like Henry Ellard and the ones that were really good and the ones that weren't really, you know, great. The teams that really stunk, you know, in the game. Like the Patriots, who really stunk then, too. There's Dan Marino. Little smudge on the card there. It's not a busted corner. It's just it is a kind of a bust, actually, when I look at it. So, you know what that means. Sorry, Dan. Circular filing cabinet with you. And Randall Cunningham. Bruce Smith. So, a couple of stars in that pack as well. Let's see what else we get here. I might have ruined that Marino card the way I'm ripping these. Not ripping them too well. They're really tightly wrapped. There's Ellard again in the 1,000-yard club. Guyton. Mark Rippon. This would have been his year going into it, right? Because Super Bowl 26 would have been the 91 year. So that was his big year in football. Winning the Super Bowl MVP and stuff like that. Really, really strong Washington team that year. Of course, the Cowboys beat them. That was their only loss until they gave up they did the last week thing against the Eagles, right? But, and they lost that game. But they hosted the Lions, right? Is that the last time the Lions were in the NFC Championship? Like I can talk. My Cowboys hasn't been that much shorter. But Bobby Humphrey, there's a flashback. Number 8 in the list. There's Bo. Speaking of Tecmo Bowl, right? Tecmo Bowl is the big one for Bo Jackson, where you see all the videos. Not Tecmo Super Bowl. Phil Simms, James Lofton. Christian Okoye, the Nigerian Nightmare. Let's see. I can make this video last a lot longer just because it's a pain in the butt opening these. There we go. Haywood Jeffries, of course, like I said, the Oilers run and shoot back then, right? They definitely put it up with numbers. Look, he only had one game where he crossed 100 and he crossed 200 against the Chiefs. So that got him to 1,000 yards. Eddie Murray, Roger Ruzek. It's a kicker pack. There's Irvin. Michael Irvin with Deion Sanders in the picture, right? Hand fighting. So that's, if it's going to be a Michael Irvin card, it might as well be Michael Irvin pushing off, right? But still, Derek Thomas. I always joke about that with friends now when you see somebody get away with a push-off, a wide receiver. Like, hey, wonder where they learned that from. They were watching Michael Irvin, too. As much as I love Irvin, right? And he was the heart and soul of those Cowboys teams when I was a kid, and, growing up. And when they were winning Super Bowls, he tended to push off. Stephon Page, again, just over 1,000. I wonder if when Topps comes back, if Fanatics brings back Topps football, which I think they're going to. Alvin Harper rookie, thinking of Cowboys back then. But I wonder if they'll bring back the 1,000-yard club, or they did 3,000-yard club so they could make quarterback cards right towards the end of their production run back before they gave up. What was the last year of Topps football? 2015, 14, somewhere in that area. Always preferred Topps over all the other products, right, as a kid. Because they're more accessible, right? You can go in a grocery store and find Topps. But, they were just, always had the better design to me and stuff like that. Jerry Rice was actually number 1 in the set that year. 1,500 yards. You can see he had several weeks where he was over 100. 13 catches for 225 against the Falcons, 12 for 147 against the Cowboys. So it was Bart Oates. You're killing me, Bart. Any Aqua Teen Hunger Force fans there? Where Bart Oates was actually in an episode of that, of all the random people they could find. Sitting here, I've got the Masters on over, my shoulder here as I'm looking straight ahead. And, I'm watching the replay of the replay. Since they got all screwed up today. It's Saturday, the day before Easter, right? So hopefully they get through it tomorrow. Looks like the weather will clear in Augusta tomorrow. It'll be today when you watch this video. I think I will put this up on Easter. So happy Easter, everybody, if you are watching this on Easter or afterwards or whenever. Doesn't matter. So I haven't seen a Jerry Rice base card or a Joe Montana. I think Steve Young's in the set. The Marino was kind of busted up that we had. Sterling Sharp again. Derek Thomas highlights card. Gotta do something with the lighting as I'm doing this. Yeah, that was, aside from the Derek Thomas, that was a dud pack. Let's see what we get here. Boom. Thurman Thomas that time. He is third in the set with his, goose egg and a 5 on there. So he would have been higher if he played the last week. Most likely Russell Maryland rookie. And that is an even duddier pack. This is a card, though, I do want to point out. This is a tricky one, right? This is an error card. Ricky Irvins was a Redskin. Washington, sorry, right? See? But, the error, of course, being Chiefs. Because, I guess they got thrown since he was in his USC uniform, right? But uncorrected error card. That will be in the Redskins packs, or the Commanders packs. See, I did it myself again. I grew up in the D.C. area, right? So there's still the Bullets. There's still, the team I'm not supposed to pronounce here. And, God forbid somebody get offended by something. But, like over on Etsy, I can't even put an Art Monk card on the cover, right? Even though the logo ain't there, it still says the name, right? So that's why if you look at the pictures of the Washington packs versus all the other packs, I always try to put a variety on what's on the front, right? Show you how many different kinds and brands of cards and stuff. So you can see all the covers of the packs, right? I can't do that with, Washington. Just because I don't have enough, star cards that I can put on the front there that are not showing the old logo or the old team name. Them's the rules. And I don't want to shut down my shop. They had threatened to do that when I first opened my shop over there, and it's Etsy. They're a little more woke than most on the internet, right? Those kinds of things. So I guess I can't be surprised. Even when I pay for shipping and do all the shipping labels on there, they pay the carbon offset stuff, which, I'm talking about political things. I know better. I'm a political science professor, though, and it just comes out, especially because I am not a woke political science professor. So there's Montana right after Rod Woodson. That's a nice back-to-back, star set there, right? So the Montana base card. Yeah, it's the Oilers team card. A couple of team cards in this one. It's a decent pack. We are a little more than halfway through the box. It's a pretty quick rip because, it's not, I'm not sorting or doing anything. We're just looking at what's in here, just showing you the variety of cards and pictures, and especially when around back then to collect them like I was. Right? It was always great as Barry Sanders base card. The one that's on the, matches the box. Just don't have Elway yet. But it's always fun to go back and relive these. I always got these, if I didn't get the grocery packs, I'd buy wax packs like this at Rite Aid or, that was basically the big store, I guess, where I grew up in the little town. I don't remember CVS having these when they opened, although it was People's Drug. They might have had it back then before CVS bought them out. Because I worked at that CVS when I was a kid in our little town, and I don't recall selling sports cards then. So this was just about, I'm on my way out too. I believe 93 was the last year I really put sets together, and then I started focusing on starting lineups exclusively, right? And keeping them in. And of course I was also getting to high school, so I was focusing on, girls, booze, things like that. So, that was a dud. If you ever watch some of the other channels on here, they would throw those cards, right? Wonder how we're doing on this set. I kind of lost track of it here as I was talking and doing other things. Jim Everett, don't call him Chris. Haywood Jeffries went by there. And, you know, another one of these sorts of standard packs. Only one of the Emmitt Smiths so far, and this one wanted to stick there on the breaker mat, so I'll just stick it on top. You ASMR freaks probably like that one. Another Ernest Biner. There's Thurman Thomas's base card. And here's some of the, we haven't seen many of these league leader cards yet, have we? What I do with these is I'll pick one. I'd probably put it on Warren Moon for that one, since he's a little bit bigger star than Chrissy Everett was. There's Bruce Matthews. Let's talk about Chris Everett was a big star in tennis. Really wish he would have pounded on Jim Rome. I cannot stand Jim Rome. If you're a fan of his out there, you know, more power to you. But that is one, I mean, sports talk is what it is, but that's one show I never got into. I never liked his attitude or anything. And some of the callers on there somehow are even more obnoxious than Rome. I got rid of sports talk radio. I got rid of Sirius, you know, and used to have it in the car for a while there. And I listened to Mad Dog a lot because I listened to Mad Dog as a kid. Used to be able to get him, like in the Mad Dog, from the Fan, even down in Maryland where I lived, right? And I would listen to Mets games right after him. But Marcus Allen's base card. Had to give it up. Just got too... I mean, I listen to that stuff to get away from what I do for a living and the politics and crap. And everything has to get political, and I have to get away from it. It's Henry Ellard again. Got a few of them. Mel Gray. Bear in mind, too, as I'm doing this, right? There's Dion. Dion's base card. But as I'm doing this, it's kind of interesting that he's not a league leader or a, you know, like a, that's a highlights card, but, you know, an all-pro, anything like that. That's his second year? Yeah. So, wonder why. But, no, what I was saying, I can't remember now. Oh, in the packs that I put together with these, right? A few things to bear in mind if you were thinking about going over and looking to put my packs. A, you're not going to buy a pack of, let's say, the Broncos here, right? And you're going to get 5 of this same card because you've seen me pull a couple of them now, right? You don't get doubles in one pack. Now, if you buy multiple packs, it might happen. But, you know, if you buy a single pack, you get, you know, one of each. I do try to make sure of that. The other thing is, let's say you buy, you know, a Packers pack. You're not going to get 30 cards from 1991 Topps. You're going to get 1 or 2, maybe 3. But, you know, I always mix them up, right? And if the cards are in bad shape, you already saw me toss one that had a little, you know, corner damage and stuff like that to it. So I try to get rid of that as much as possible. If they have a black edge or a dark edge around them and they show a little edge wear, I live with that. But if the corners are busted up or it's, you know, anything worse than that, I just toss them. I don't include them in my packs. So, you know, it's another Bobby Humphrey, like I was saying, right? So that'll get mixed into multiple different packs, right? There's Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas. That's a tough one. I'll have to figure that one out. Probably the Bills is where I'll put that one. Although I think I am sold out of both teams. So I don't know. I'll have to decide. There's one nice player I want to point out there. Rich Gannon. Very young in his career. You know, University of Delaware, Rich Gannon. It's my alma mater too, right here on my ring. So I believe he still has most of the career passing records there, though I could be wrong. You know, stuff has changed a little bit since I really focused on those. You might say, Sean, what about Joe Flacco, right? Flacco was only there a short amount of time, so he wouldn't have career records. He would have single-season records. And the other person that might have them, might have broken them, would have been Matt Nagy, right? The former Bears coach. He was the quarterback, or one of the quarterbacks when I was there, right? There's Thurman Thomas again. I don't think we have the whole set. It's got a lot of doubles. I have to look at that. Maybe we'll look at it here at the end of the video. See if I put that whole set together. I'm going to break it up anyway, but just to see if we got them all. And if I didn't, we could try to guess who's missing. Still haven't seen an Elway base card. don't think we've seen a Jerry Rice base card either. And there's only, aside from this one in my hand, 5 packs in the box. So, Page, again. Cortez Kennedy, Hall of Famer. There's LT's base card. I don't remember seeing that one before now. Munchak's a Hall of Famer. Oh, what do we get here? You get a pack that does not want to open. Oops. I hit the tripod. I am sorry for that. I do not want to bust these. There we go. Flipper again. Flipper. First time we might have seen Flipper. I don't know. Flipper Anderson. Still the single game receiving record holder. I think. This is Reggie White's base. I don't think we've seen that one yet either. Put him on top. 4 packs to go, and we'll call it a box. And then I'll get to sorting these and the other stuff I've got to sort here. Got one more box of football cards I know I've ordered coming in. And once I get them in, and that Sterling Sharp unfortunately is a little busted there on the edge. I'm going to throw that one out there. But once I get that other box in, there's Aikman's base. Then these will start getting mixed up and back for sale, and I'll put up, I always go on YouTube and put short videos. I always put the pictures on, you know, Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and all those things, right? So you can see the packs that are available when they are available. So definitely give us a like and subscribe on any of those channels, especially here on YouTube, right? You know, and you can see these kind of updates. And, you know, when I do other sorts of retail rips or, you know, I go to other places and find things, that sort of stuff. There's Andre Rison. There's the first card in the set, right? Yeah. So, the Super Bowl card. At least they didn't put Norwood missing, right? That would have been kind of cruel. There is that pro set card that is of him doing that. So, 2 packs left. Still haven't seen Elway that I remember. Or Jerry Rice. Of course, 660 cards in the set, I believe, so I don't think you're going to get the whole thing out of one of these, right? You have to get a couple of them, and you might get there. Saragusa. If you watch that band, or the 30 for 30 thing on the 2000 Ravens, he was really good at it. Unfortunately, he passed away right shortly after, you know, they filmed it. But, you know, it was a really fun watch. You know, I wasn't quite old enough to remember the 85 Bears, right, and their run, so the best, you know, defense I remember, right? And of course, looking at statistics and all the other things, we can argue about it, but, you know, got to respect them back then, the shutouts they had, and the fact that they had 0 offense. And you know what? The 85 Bears didn't have much either, right, other than Walter Payton. But McMahon wasn't exactly a world beater. It's Bo Jackson again. Couple of Bows. Only the one Emmitt, though, out of that, what, 3rd or 4th pack in. And I did not see Jay Novacek. I did not see Rice or Elway. That's the box. So let's see if we got all of these, just for fun. Let's see. 16, 15, 9, 17. 2, 6, 4. There's a double, 8, 13, 14. There's 1. All right, so I've got 1 through 4 and 1, 2, 4, 6 in my hand. There's 11, 10. Here's 3. That's 13 is a double. 17 is a double. 12. Okay, so there's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, so there's 17 there. Barry we've already got. Gary Clark we've already got. Andre Rison is 7. So I've got 6. So we need 5 is who we're missing, right? 15, 6, 2, 5. And these are all... Oh, there's 18. There's an 18 there. James Brooks. 3, 14, 11, 15, 17, 12. Yeah, well, I think we got the whole set. That's pretty cool. So I wasn't expecting that as we were going through, and I kept seeing some of those that we did get multiples of. But yeah, so James Brooks with just over 1,000, right? 1,004. You know, Carter, Ward, Hill, Page, Jeffries, Anderson, Sharp, Gary Clark, Bobby Humphrey, Risen, Ernest Biner, Marion Butts, Ellard, Thurman Thomas, Barry Sanders, Jerry Rice. The entire 1,000-yard club run, and they'll get mixed into the pack. So, hey, if you stuck around this long, half an hour into this, thanks for watching. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely would appreciate a like and subscribe as well. And also check us out over in the shop, and we'll see you there. Thanks again.